Hey guys, thanks very much for joining me for yet another unhaul. I've got some more books I'm getting rid of, and that's pretty much it. I have a variety here. I've got some books that I have read, didn't really like, won't read again. A few books I DNF'd. Some books I have additional copies of. Some books I've had on my shelf for a long time. If I have not read it by now, I'm probably not going to read it, so I just kind of need to cleanse the shelves a little bit, give them a little breathing room because they're already getting kind of tight. So let's jump right in. First, really randomly, I have all these Goosebump books, which is funny because in my last haul, I just got one of R.L. Stine's like adult books, adult horror books. And here I have all these like middle grade books that I'm getting rid of. I don't know why I have these. I'm gonna be honest. I do keep some middle grade, some like books in elementary school that meant a lot to me. I do still have them. Goosebumps, I read a bit, but they were never all that big for me. So it's kind of a mystery how they got to my shelf. As well as Stargirl, never read it. Don't know how it's there, but it's there. We have R.A. Salvatore's The Legend of Drizzt, however you say it. I have so many books by R.A. Salvatore and I have not read a single one, which is a problem. This one is just this awkward size that doesn't fit any of the other books I have of his. It's just kind of awkward to shelf. It's book 2. I don't know in what series, but I know he's got a bunch of series and I've got a bunch of his books and I really need to start reading them because if I don't like the writing, I'm gonna open up a lot of room on my bookshelves and it's probably good to know that. Next we have the Iliad. I do like finding kind of different editions of this book. Unfortunately, some idiot put the sticker, the stickers where you take it off and it like rips the whole cover. Why? I don't understand why they always use them, but that's what they use. And guess what? It ripped like half the cover off. So I'm sorry, this one's gonna say goodbye. Bye-bye book. Next we have Hannibal. This one, I do really want to get into this trilogy. I think it's a trilogy. I am obsessed with the TV show Hannibal and I have been for many years, so that's kind of reawakened a desire to actually read the books. This one doesn't have a copy. I think it's the second one, so I'm not in any rush. This can go and I'll just kind of keep my eye out for one that has the cover. We have Carlin Hoban's Hold Tight. A few months ago, last year I think it was, I read, what book was it by his? The Boy in the Woods. Really liked it. Then I was out and about one day, saw like 5 or 6 of his books randomly at some bookstore or some thrift store, picked them all up, which might have been a mistake. So I did go through those. Out of all of them, this one, just the storyline seems like something I might not be quite as interested in as the others, so I'm keeping them and I'm getting rid of this one. Don't ask me why I have this next one. I don't know. Sometimes I just look at my shelves and I'm like, how did you come to be here? 1968. But Treasure Island isn't one of the classics that I'm crazy about, so like I have Treasure Island, the book itself, but I don't know why I have this edition of it. And soon I won't have it anymore, so bye-bye. Let's move on to the books that I have read, just haven't loved. Gillian Flynn's Gone Girl. I did try reading this several years ago. I just could not get into the writing, kind of the headspace of the characters. Unfortunately, just due to living, I didn't even watch the movie, but people talk. The ending was spoiled. I think it's really interesting that's the ending, but I already know. I know the ending now, so I'd rather read one of her other books, which I do have 2 of her other books, because there were a few lines in this where I'm like, oh, that's a really beautiful sentence. But just the story as a whole I couldn't get into, so I am going to try some of her other stuff. The Chaos of Stars, I did read this many years ago. Slight fantasy, I think it's to do with like the daughter of an Egyptian god. It's very middle grade, very YA. I read it. I think it was fine at the time. I'm not going to read it again. So it should go to someone who will. We've got E. Lockhart's Genuine Fraud. I did DNF this, unfortunately, last month. So this will go as well. A Time to Kill. If you watch my last month's read, I think this was the very bottom of the list. Just wasn't crazy about this book, so this can go. And then The Call of Cthulhu. H.P. Lovecraft. So many people love him. I just don't get it. I've read a lot of his short stories, and I think one of them I found kind of creepy and disturbing, and the others were just kind of boring. I know he's done a lot for the genre of horror. I know he's inspired a lot of like my favorite horror authors. I can appreciate what he's done for kind of the beginning of horror as it was getting started, kind of ushering it in. But nowadays, I would just rather read some other authors that he inspired. So thank you, but no thank you. These next two I've held on to for a long time. I think I just need to pull the plug and get rid of them. And that is Aragon and Eldest. And when I say I've held on to these, it's not because I don't have other copies. I have the whole series in hardcover on the top of my shelf here. But this was like the first book when I first got into the series when I was in middle school. This was like the actual book. And I was feeling sappy. And the same with this one. This was like some special limited edition thing, but this is like the actual book that I read. And sometimes I just get attached to them. I loved this series when I was in middle school. I now realize how similar it is to many other series that came before it. But you know what? I enjoyed it a lot at the time. And I think the author wrote it when he was pretty young. So it's only natural, like if you're reading, watching Lord of the Rings, that those things are gonna kind of trickle into everything else. Oh, goodbye. Next, let's go into some books that I think I have additional copies of these. And the first one, I'm going to pronounce wrong, I betcha. The Penapeliad, is that wrong or right? I've got no clue. It's about Penelope and Odysseus. I probably just butchered it. A few months ago, I think I did find a box set of myths. One of the boxes in the set was this book. This one back here, it's like held together with tape, so that can be put out of its misery, poor thing. So we have Faces by C.S. Lewis. I do have a different copy I like a lot more. This one just creepy looking, like her eyes. Do you see her eyes? She's got just like dead eyes. Maybe she's supposed to. I don't know. I haven't read the whole thing. I've only read a few chapters of this, so. We have Wicked. I bought this not by accident. I did it on purpose, but by mistake because I thought I was missing Wicked when I think I was actually missing Son of a Witch. So this is gonna go back. The Princess Bride. Persuasion by Jane Austen. My last haul, I did find a larger copy, not the kind of mass market paperback like this. So small, so awkward. Don't like books that are this size. This was a really good book, a really funny book actually, so I'm glad I do have it where I can highlight some stuff in it. Next two books are by Douglas Adams, and that is The Salmon of Doubt and Mostly Harmless. I do have an edition of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy where I have all the books in one, so I do not need them individually anymore. Big Fish. I keep mentioning my last haul, but it's for a reason. In my last haul, I did find a really cool cover of this one. It's not the movie version. I just don't like movie covers. I don't want to hear about it being like major motion picture from some studio. So I'll keep that one. I'll get rid of this one. This is an ARC, Once Upon a River, by Diane Setterfield. Really pretty. Really like it, but I do have the kind of final somewhere here, the final edition, so I do not need to have two. The Swerve, I've got two. The Execution of Noah P. Singleton, same thing. And the Poisonwood Bible. Next, this little pile here, I've just had these books for a long time. I'm not going to get into them anytime soon. It's time to say goodbye. Looking backwards, I've probably had this for like over 10 years. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and I still haven't gotten into it. The Thunder of Silence. How to Be Human. Hell and High Water. Beautiful cover. Odd and True. Odd and True. Which is weird because the person's name is Ode, 1D, but it's Odd and True. I'm confused. It doesn't matter. The Hand on the Mirror. Tell Me Something Real. Also cool cover. The Stowaway. This is about a guy who smuggles his way onto a ship from heading to Antarctica. And I thought it's based on a true story, but I thought it was going to put you in the main character's like mindset and base it on facts, but still give you that story, that kind of fiction. It's not. It's just kind of an accounting, well, seems to go back and forth a bit, but I don't think I would enjoy it. So the story sounds really interesting though. Country, this is a recent purchase. All the other ones I've had for quite a while. This one's recent. I don't know. So you want to talk about race. Saving Kabul Corner. The Game of Hope. And then last one, we have Misfortune. Thanks very much for joining me once again. That has been the Unhaul. Keep an eye out for the haul because like I said, you guys know it's coming soon. I've got a stack of books sitting right there that I'm about to haul. So that's why I need some of these gone. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Bye.